Hey, welcome back to First Word Podcast. I am your host, E. Reap. Episode 4. We're here. It's been a fun road so far. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I want to say we're up to 27 or 28 downloads, like in total, through the first 3 episodes. I'm not sure how that stacks up with like a new podcast, a new indie podcast at that, and like not a lot of buzz surrounding it. So that 27 might be an insanely low number, but hey, I wasn't expecting anything for the first like 2 months. So hey, I take anything I can get. So appreciate y'all for all of your support and rocking with me thus far. So episode 3, we did talk about resale, like the resale culture, who's to blame, and we're all at fault. So we have to take part in our, in our actions with the resale game. But yeah, shout out to the sneaker teacher once again for that topic. So that's basically what my vision is and was for the podcast. That's the direction I want to keep trending towards. Of course, I'm going to have my own topics I want to come up with. I definitely value all community input. So if you have a certain topic or a certain question or anything you want to talk about or you want me to go over, definitely drop those in the DMs, the comment section. I have a link. Like I said, you can do it a little more in depth on the link tree, whatever. But let's go ahead and get into episode 4. And we're going to talk about Grails. What's a Grail? Why do people covet certain shoes or items over others? You know, all that good stuff. Because that's one of the main topics in the sneaker community, or the main discussions in the sneaker community is like the Grail talk. Everybody has their own definition, and they like to police or govern what you can consider a Grail and what's not a Grail, which is crazy to me, but we're going to get into it today. So, we got 3 components of this particular topic. You have what is a Grail, why Grails are personal, and then kind of like a community or like sneaker culture Grails, like a universally accepted Grail, if you will. So basically, a Grail is something that, is highly coveted. Is a particular item that, for the most part, is widely expensive. It's not gonna. Most Grails aren't cheap if you go by like the standard definition or like the standard qualifications of a Grail. They're definitely going to be up there in price, which is another issue in itself. And once you get something like titled or characterized as a Grail, then of course that's when the resale comes in, which is why those numbers on those Grails are higher than the average shoe, because it goes back to we create the market basically, and if we say this is the end all be all, then of course that's going to start circulating around, and then somebody that has it say, okay, well, if this is the item to have, this is the shoe to have, then I'm going to sell it to the highest bidder, and then that's how you get the high prices and everything. A lot of people, I'm not included in this, but a lot of people feel like a newer release can't be considered a Grail, but I personally believe that a Grail is a personal, is a preference. It's basically a preference, like a personal story tied to it. It's subjective at the end of the day. I don't think you can put a concrete definition or like a standard definition on what a Grail is. You can have like certain qualifications, maybe like certain criteria that it has to hit, but I don't think you can put like a end all be all definition of, okay, this is what a Grail has to be. Anything outside of this cannot be considered a Grail. Because like I said, Grails are personal. You have to have, I feel like a Grail has to have some kind of emotional attachment or connection to it. Whether it's a shoe that growing up your favorite player wore, or is a shoe that maybe your siblings or your favorite uncle or somebody that you watched on TV always wore, and you were never able to attain it for whatever reasons. Maybe your parents, couldn't afford a particular shoe. Maybe that the shoe was only in certain sizes. Maybe it was like a women's size and only, or like a men's size. And as a child, you couldn't fit the shoe. So even if you had the resources or ability to attain the shoe, you couldn't for different reasons. And just growing up, you just always had that shoe that was like the shoe that you always wanted. And I think the sentimental aspect of it is what really makes a Grail for me. Like in my opinion, I think that is the highest form of, or the how can I put this? The sentimental value should be the only criteria for a Grail in my eyes. Like there are certain shoes, like for example, a recent pickup, which I don't like to, I don't like to steer in that direction for my podcast. Like that's not gonna be half the segment, but yeah, just for the sake of argument or sake of an example, the Kobe 2, the silver Kobe 2s, that's one of my more recent pickups, and that was a Grail to me because growing up, Kobe's my favorite player, still my favorite player. The Lakers are my favorite team. So that was one of those shoes that growing up, I don't even remember like seeing them in a store. I don't remember seeing anybody wear them outside of Kobe like on the court. And even once I started like buying my own shoes, that wasn't a shoe that like popped up in like the sneaker groups or in resale shops or anything like that. It was like a shoe that I was just waiting for it to re-release. Maybe they did re-release in some capacity, and I just missed it because working in retail, I've never came across that Kobe 2. Even now, I had to order it online. I haven't seen them in any stores locally anyway. Like I said, it could be a regional thing. LA probably has them all over the place, or New York. But in Virginia, the 757 specifically, I've never seen that shoe on any shelf. So that's considered a Grail because one, I've always wanted it. Two, I had like a personal or emotional attachment to it because my favorite player wore them, and I was never able to get them as a child. And leading up to adulthood, I've never been able to attain it, or the price was just too crazy. Like I seen them on eBay, like a few different colorways, but they were either trashed, they were beat, or like I said, the price was too high. So finally able to get them for retail, and I would consider that a Grail, if not the Grail, in my collection. And a lot of people will say, that's not a Grail. That shouldn't be considered a Grail because you actually have them. Because a lot of people, or a lot of sneakerheads, quote unquote, they feel like Grails are something that you just aspire to have, but you're never going to be able to get them, which I don't think that's the proper definition of it, or like the proper qualification. Because why would I say something as a Grail if I know I can't get it? Which I think that's weird to me. I feel like Grails can be like different things. That could be one of your Grails might be a shoe that you're never able to get, but it can also be a shoe that is going to release in 2 years. If that makes sense. Because a lot of PEs, a lot of people consider PEs or like player exclusives or samples to be Grails. Like if they ever come out, they want them. Like maybe like the Tokyo 5 that are dropping later on this year. I think they're dropping the sample version that has like the yellow toe, and a lot of people might consider those Grails. But you can actually get those for retail, or you can try to get them for retail once they drop. But yeah, like I said, I think the Grail thing is like a working definition, man. It should be unique to each individual. Like you just can't put a blanket statement over what a Grail is and what a Grail isn't. I guess like the common Grails, just off the top of my head, definitely Yeezys. Like the Yeezy 1, the Yeezy 2, the Nike Yeezys, the Red October joints, the Blinks, the Zen Grays. I forgot what the tan joints were called. But yeah, I think those 6 pairs, the 3 Yeezy 1s, the 3 Yeezy 2s, definitely Grails. The Galaxy foams were definitely Grails for a lot of people, and I know a lot of people were happy when they re-released recently, and they were able to get them for retail because those prices used to be outrageous. The stuff that people were like trading to get those foams, I couldn't imagine doing some of that stuff. Let me see, like the Paris Dunks. I know that's definitely one. There's up there. The What the Dunks, definitely a Grail for a lot of people. Those are price wise, those are like insane. The What the Dunks and the Paris Dunks are definitely up there. Those might be the exception to the Grails that you will never own category, because they actually did release, but the aftermarket for them is just insane right now. So unless you want to dish out a good amount of money, you probably won't get those. Any other Grails that I can think of out the top of my head? Maybe like the OG Jordan 1s. Like Chicago's, Breads, of course. Black Cement 3s. That's a Grail for a lot of people. I know every time they drop, people get multiple pairs of those. The 11s could be a Grail for, some people. I'm just trying to think of like the widely accepted Grails. That's all I can think of off the top of my head, to be honest. Yeah, Yeezys, the Dunks, Yeezys, certain Jordans. Yeah. So that's all I can think of for as far as the LeBrons. I know the Watch the Throne LeBrons were definitely up there. Maybe the championship LeBron 10s. I don't believe they released. If they did, I think it was like very limited or something. It was another LeBron. I can't think of it. Was it the LeBron 10, the honey joints, the honeycomb joints? That could be a Grail for a lot of people. I know the KD4s, the Unt Pearls. I think that was definitely one of mine. The Unt Pearl KD4s, the Galaxy KD4s. I think that the entire Galaxy pack probably was on the Grail list for a lot of people. But yeah, all the KD4s, I would say they had a good argument to be considered Grails, and then they came back and they're sitting on shelves and going on sale. So you know how that goes. So I definitely think Grails are generational, because the shoes that I would consider a Grail, or like the older generations, like the OG sneakerheads that have been doing it since the 80s and 90s, their Grails are definitely going to be different from the YNs right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to consider the same shoes that we like, or they're not going to covet the same shoes. Because as you can see, we were hyped for the KD4s, and you can get them from like $70 to $90 depending on the colorway. And like the YNs, they want those Black Cat 4s. Like, as you can see, and I spoke about it episode 3. But the Black Cat 4s, I checked recently, and they're up to $985. They're like knocking on the door to be going for $1,000, man. I never in a million years thought I would ever see a Black Cat 4 going for $1,000. It's crazy, and for $1,000, I feel like you could say that is a Grail for some people. So this generation, their Grail is the Black Cat 4. And, based on criteria, like the standard criteria that was set before us or whatever, like that wouldn't be considered a grail. But hey, if you have an emotional attachment, you always wanted it, you've actively tried to get it for however many years or whatever it is, that's your grail, and they're going for $1,000 for a reason, and they're re-releasing, and a lot of people are excited. I think there's gonna be slight differences, so it's not gonna be the exact Black Cat 4 that dropped in 2020, and I don't think they were even the exact Black Cat 4 that dropped in '06. There was like slight differences, I'm sure. So, hey, generation to generation, man, your definition of a grail is going to be different. So just keep it true to yourself, man. Keep it true to you, what you like, how you feel about it. Don't let anybody tell you your grail isn't a grail, because at the end of the day, your emotional attachment, it can be a pair of white Air Forces. That can be your grail, just because some emotional attachment to it. Whatever your story is on why that's, you know what I'm saying? It could be anything. Oh, I don't know how I forgot this shoe. As a grail of all grails, a holy grail, a widely accepted grail. The Air Mag, the Nike Air Mag. I feel like that is the most widely accepted grail across the sneaker community. I feel like everybody could agree on that being that's probably like the holy grail, the Nike Air Mag. I know unless something crazy happens, which messing with Nike, nothing is out of the realm of possibility at this point. However, I highly doubt they're gonna do a release, like an actual release, not like a limited or special release, like a full on Nike release of the Nike Air Mag, where the average consumer has even the slight chance of owning a pair for retail. I don't think it's going to happen. If it does happen, I don't believe it'll be anytime soon, but that'll be one of those shoes that, I consider that like a holy grail. That's one of those shoes that I don't agree with this, but it is what it is. You can do whatever you want with your shoes. So I know a lot of like the Grails people tend to they don't want to wear them for whatever, whatever their reason, their rationale is. They don't want to wear them. They're scared to wear them, or they just buy them just to keep them in the case or whatever. Which, like I said, man, if you bought it, you can do whatever it is you want to do with it. It's your shoe at the end of the day. Nobody can tell you what to do with your purchase. Nobody can tell you to do with your money. And nobody can tell you what a Grail is if you think otherwise. So this would be one of those shoes that I would definitely get like a special case for them. I definitely would have to put them on my feet. It'd have to be like a special occasion. I know certain shoes, when you break them out, it has to be like, the stars have to align. And I'm cool with that. I know a lot of people say, wear your shoes. I'm all for wearing your shoes. But I can't say that certain pairs aren't meant for certain occasions. For me, like, I'm going to wear my shoes at some point. I will put my foot in them and rock them. They're going to hit dirt. They're going to touch grass. But I'm not just going to wear them to Harris Teeter. I'm not going to go to Whole Foods or Cinema Cafe and throw on a crazy pair of shoes just to say I'll wear them, just to say they're NDS. It's going to have to be the right occasion. And the Air Max is one of those, definitely one of those, like, I'm going to need to go somewhere where eyes are on me. You're going to see that I have these Air Mags on. I didn't buy them for you, but I'm going to wear them and let you know I got these on. That's the type of like caliber that shoe is. Cause oh man, I couldn't fathom having a pair of Air Max, and I wouldn't even know what event or an occasion that would call for me to wear that that shoe. especially around here. Like, I had to be, I don't know, it had to be like an out of town mission or something. I don't know. But Nike, if anybody from Nike stumbles upon this, humble startup indie sneaker podcast centered around the culture and the topics important to the sneaker culture, if y'all do decide to drop them, don't hesitate to send them to the small creators. You know what I'm saying? We out here doing it for the people, for the love of the game. No money is being made from any of my videos personally. So, you want to slide a size 12, 12 and a half, whatever you can spare to your boy. Hey, just let me know. We can work something out. I will make 100 videos if I have to get those shoes, man. But yeah, like, just to wrap it all up, to tie it all together, because I feel like it's starting to get redundant at this point. Like the Grail, the Holy Grail, whatever you want to call them, man, is unique to each to the person. It's unique to each person, man. It's not an end all be all, like I said before. Concrete definition of what a Grail is, what it should be. As long as it meets certain criteria, if you think that, is important enough or worthy enough to be considered a Grail in your eyes, then it's a Grail. And all the old heads, my generation and the older generation included in that, since I guess I'm an old head now. Stop telling people what they can and cannot buy and what they can call a Grail and what they can't call a Grail, man. My Grail is not your Grail. Your Grail is not their Grail. It's subjective at the end of the day, man. It is what it is. Just like the fashion trends, You can't be mad at somebody for what they're wearing at this point. It's like, come on, man. If it's not bothering you, it's not taking money out of your pocket or putting money in your pocket, who cares? Live your life. So, before I wrap this up, I want to introduce a new segment to the podcast, which is going to be Solecial Hour. Solecial Hour, SOLE. So, like a play on the sneaker terms, you know what I'm saying? Which was definitely going to be the name of this podcast before I searched it and found out that I wasn't as clever as I thought I was. It's already a similar sneaker podcast. I want to say it's called Social Studies. Shout out to Social Studies. I think he's been doing it for a good minute, so he's had that name for a minute. And then there's also like an actual sewing podcast, and it's Social something, but SEW. So I was like, yeah, it's too close for comfort for me. I need something that if you type my podcast name in, nobody else is gonna pop up. So Social Studies was definitely the one I really thought I thought I had one with that, but I can do a segment. So Social Studies, instead of the community submitting topics, because some people may not want to do all that. You can just submit questions or like smaller topics or whatever, not like full episodes, and I will answer at the end. So today's Solecial Hour question is, what is the order of what you're going to wear? So, like, when I'm getting dressed, do I go shoes first, clothes first, or whatever? And I'm not going to lie to y'all, man. At first, I was definitely a shoes first type of guy. Before I got older and, I had a job and worked a certain amount of hours, I was definitely shoes first. I get a new pair of shoes. I didn't wait longer than a week, if that, at one point, to wear my new shoes. So that was always, boom, if I'm going out, okay, what's my newest shoe? Boom, I'm throwing these on and go from there. Now, since my free time is more limited, I don't wear shoes as often. I'm in steel toes a vast majority of the week. So when I do go out, it just depends on the situation. Depends on the vibe. Like if there's something new that I purchased clothing wise, like there's like a crazy piece that I got from like an independent brand, or just something dope in general, I'm probably gonna lean towards that piece, and then go with the shoes afterwards. Like if there is a older shoe that I wore 100 times that hits better with that particular piece or with the fit more than like a new pickup would, I'm gonna go with the older shoe. I'm not just gonna like throw on anything for the sake of saying that I put on a new shoe. And then there be times where I've had a shoe that I just feel like these need to see outside. Like the world needs to see this particular shoe. Then I'll go shoe first. But like it just depends. I don't have a set routine anymore like I used to. It just depends on the vibe, depends on the occasion, depends on the weather too. You know, if I got a brand new pair of suede shoes and it's gonna be raining in it, or there's a good chance that it's gonna rain throughout the day, I'm gonna go with something else. As bad as I want to wear that shoe, it's not worth it for me personally. Yeah, I have the spray, the protectants, and all that, the cleaners. I have all that stuff. I know I can do what I need to do. But if I don't have to take that risk, personally, I'm not. I have enough shoes that I throw on a pair of leather shoes or something else. I don't need to potentially mess up a shoe and make more work for myself if I don't have to, just for the sake of saying I threw a shoe on. But yeah, that is my long-winded answer. Shout out to Ashley for the question, because I wasn't gonna do like a full episode on that because I feel like it was pretty easy to throw that out there in like a few minutes or a few paragraphs. So that's where Solecial Hour was born, from a submitted topic that I felt like wouldn't have been a full episode worth or worthy. Solecial Hour, boom, the question is here, is answered. Hopefully you're listening, and there we go with it. So yeah, that's gonna do it for episode 4, man. I'm excited to see where this podcast goes. Hopefully the people that are listening now, y'all continue to rock with it. Hopefully you're buying into the vision. I would love to see more topics flooding the inbox, or at least Solecial Hour questions. But I can't force you to do anything. I just hopefully is, after a while you get comfortable and you want to, be a more active listener or participant or whatever. Like I said, it's a community podcast for the people, by the people. I'm just doing what I feel like will continue to grow the sneaker community, man. Like, if you have a voice and you want to be heard, First Word Podcast is the place to do it. Trust me, I got y'all. Yeah, I've really been showing love on TikTok and IG, man. I appreciate that. I want to say we're at like 43 or 44 followers on IG, 60 or 70 on TikTok, which is crazy to me. Like I said, I had low expectations and high hopes for the podcast, to be honest. I didn't think I would see any type of growth or like see any traction really until like episode 8 or 10, which is like around 2 months. And to see the growth that I've seen so far with only 3 live episodes, and I'm recording this episode 4 now, is like, it's so crazy to me, man. I really appreciate everyone. Even if you've just been sharing certain posts, commenting, liking, anything, telling something about it, even if you haven't had the chance to listen yet, I appreciate you for real. And look, you can stream First Word Podcast on every podcast platform, whatever your preference is. If you just type the name in, we're in there. So yeah, catch y'all next week. Same time, same place. More community topics.